Alrighty, folks, here's my final sermon of the day. Why is it that man insists on doing the craziest things of all time, like never before in history, for his work? Oh man, it used to be plant the seeds, take care of the seeds, eat the fruit of the seeds, enjoy other people, and worship God. That's what it used to be for thousands of years. Now, we have people, human beings that physiologically and physically and in every way have not at all changed in their natural design since the early days. We have people sitting behind screens all day, surrounded by nothing but dead junk, surrounded by printed messages all over their walls, covered in clothing, covered overhead, no sunshine reaching their skin. Grown men getting paid silly amounts of money to stare at flat panels all day long. People driving in metal machinery known as vehicles for hours a day. Most jobs, I don't even know what they are and what they're good for. There's just a ton of paperwork everywhere. And red tape and rules and regulations to get anything done. And we can't even have a conversation with anyone anymore. We insist that we have pieces of paper about them in front of us. Sometimes it's just too psycho feeling. Like the ideas are just too strange, I feel. Like I never cease to be amazed at how strange all these ideas seem to be about what we should be doing with ourselves. Like, now there's a like Hollywood scene where people pretend to be various things that they are not. And we glitz all this stuff up. Like we make visual all these crazy things in our imagination that we didn't used to do, and I just find it so bizarre. And it seems like hardly anyone knows God anymore. I'm not going to complain, folks. I'm not going to complain one bit, because there's never a reason to complain. I'm just saying it makes choosing feel very exhausting. Like never before have our young people had so many choices, it seems, for what they can do for a living. You almost sense that it reaches a point where you come to the realization that it's just some form of bloody work, and it doesn't really matter what you do. You're just going to do some kind of work, and then you sure just better do everything you can with your off time and your personal relationships in the process in order to focus on things that actually matter. Like, so knowing God is the most important thing. I love to share frustrations even that happened in my life today. You know, going to Trinity Western University, talking with the people at the education program, got to meet new people for the first time. I'm like, protocol sometimes creeps me out. Just when I feel a lot of protocol and a lot of, course prerequisites and all sorts of stuff that I know for a fact I simply do not need in order to teach grade 12 students math, which is more or less what I think I might start off in as a teacher if I was to go into the school system, quote unquote. I like that age. I really do like that age. And I could teach all sorts of things. Like, I'm more than qualified to teach just about any high school subject at the grade 12 level. I could start tomorrow and the kids would love me, and I'd motivate them like crazy and love them like crazy, and we would make sure that they're motivated and encouraged to shoot high and do it all well. But so I find it very overwhelming, all the crazy hoops and the time, and like you gotta be like a 2-year program, that goes from September through to April, and then I have summers off, like a 2-year thing, plus the costs that it takes, they require for the tuition, and you're just like, why is this so difficult? Why is it so inefficient is the word that I'm looking for. It's not difficult, it just feels very inefficient, and that it could be trimmed down a lot, Just an honest confession, folks, part of me at times, like in terms of, you're just like, no, I have to be serving the name of Jesus. And when I say that, I mean, I'm always serving the name of Jesus, but it's like, no, I have to be speaking the name of Jesus. I had that happen today, and it's like, no, you have to be talking about Jesus every single day. Like, the name of Jesus has to be on your lips. That's what I mean by serving Jesus. Like, you talk about Jesus and you talk about God throughout your day as a part of your job. That is the true life that I need to live. I cannot work at a secular company with my mouth shut. I think this is also a lie that the church has believed. That, oh yeah, you could just work at a secular company with your mouth shut the whole time, not talking about God, not talking about Jesus, and expect that that is the true calling. There's no way that you're being, I cannot do it. Because these people are going to hell. Like, if everyone on my job site is not universally accepted Jesus Christ as Lord, they need to do that. Like, today, before we continue working on this dumb project that we're working on, whatever it is. I marvel at how many Christians, especially men, think and have believed the lie that serving Jesus means you never have to talk about Jesus throughout your day. Like, you never say his name. I'm like, everything about the early church and everything about the commission of Christ and everything about the lives of the apostles was spreading the name of Jesus. That means speaking it, talking about him, seeking him, learning more about him, learning more about the Trinity as we've been studying everything mathematically in world history. You have to be talking about God. I just, folks, there comes an age, men, there simply comes an age when you must be talking about God and you must be talking about Jesus. You must. It's called growing up. It's like when I was younger, I was, I did video game programming, but it's like there comes an age when you must be talking about God. You must be talking about Jesus. Otherwise, you are still just you're still in a cocoon. You're still like not even a real person. Like, do you even know what this story is and who it's for and why this universe is and what we're all here for and who we're all here for and who created this all and who we're going home to? Like, that's who we're supposed to be thinking about all day long. We're supposed to be talking about God all day long, and that's what true science and true knowledge is. Like, folks, it's impossible. Like, I'm like, and so that's why I find, especially given what I've seen about all this, I haven't even returned email requests for job interviews just because I'm like, you didn't even have Jesus anywhere in your company motto, your company job site. You don't even, obviously there's not even like, it's not even Christian. Which means you're obviously doing nothing except serving money, which means you actually are serving the devil, because if you're not serving Christ, you're serving the devil. I'm sorry. You need to grow up. You need to find out who this story is. You need to know Jesus. And you need to be unashamed of confessing Jesus. Okay. And then as for the education stuff, I know for a fact we got to change the system. There's just simply way too many barriers for Christian teachers, especially in Christianity, folks. And I'm preaching to the Christian schools and the Christian education world. You're not supposed to be following the world in all of their crazy fear practices and all of their crazy system practices that require, teachers to have insane amounts of years spent in useless knowledge, insane amounts of money required, all sorts of paperwork. Christian high school principals should have the gift of discernment, and the Christian education world should be different. We should be more efficient. We shouldn't require a good Christian teacher that's ready to go through all the insane junk that the godless world has people go through, because it's bondage and it's dishonest. It's not even honest. It's not even honest. That's what I'm trying to preach the most. It's like if the so-called administrators of these systems and legislation and courses would be honest, they would confess that the majority of all this is actually unnecessary for the very act, for what a good teacher actually is, and who the kids will love and be motivated to learn with. God does not hire like godless people hire. A good Christian high school principal would be filled with the Spirit of God and would simply, it would just be far easier. Folks, just way too much inefficiency, too much wasted time, too many barriers to entry. Why don't you just let good people get started? Anyways. As you can tell, folks, I have very little patience for a bad idea. If there's a better way to do something, I want us to do it, like now. I don't like apologizing for bad ideas or bad systems. I really don't. Everything inside me just wars against it. I'm like, this is just a bad idea. Why don't we change this right now? Like, if it's a bad idea, if it's a waste of time, if people are bored in it, if it's not satisfying, if it's not satisfying, let's just stop doing it right now. Like, right now. Bad idea. Okay. Anyways. That's it for me. Sometimes, folks, I just feel like venting. I just got to vent on various silly ideas that I see out in the world, just dumb ideas, things that don't make any sense, things that are a waste of time. I personally feel, honestly, folks, that job hunting right now is a total zoo. Like, you talk about a cesspool of weird jobs out there. Like, things are just weird, and people are weird. And, like, employers are weird, and managers are weird. And that's what I feel most of all, is people don't even know how to treat each other anymore. Folks, I think massively all of this screen time and all of this, over time, antisocial time, I don't think it's done a lot for all of us. We don't even know how to relate. We don't even know how to spend time for someone. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like things are too weird. Like, supply and demand is just too weird. I'm like, you really? Like, this is where the money is? This is what people are paying for these days? You're just like, I can't believe this. I'm like, oh God. Oh God. Here's my philosophy of education, folks. Here's my honest philosophy of education. Spend as much time as you can personally in the presence of God, and then go in front of the kids in the classroom and just let it out. Just be who God has made you as a result of you spending large amounts of time together with Him in His presence privately. And then just go out and let it shine. All these number of revelations, folks, I received directly from personal time with God. None of this came from any human being, obviously. And believe me, it's far more satisfying than any other education I've ever received in my entire life by a factor of infinity. And kids would be excited to see all this stuff. So, I don't like boredom. I don't have any patience for boredom. Why are we doing boring things? Why are we putting money in boring places? I'm like, just a waste of time. So, as you can tell, folks, I have very little patience for dumb ideas. I get grieved. I get de-energized, if you will, by even just smelling or being around dumb ideas or people that aren't even happy and just too bound up. I'm like, man, you don't inspire me. Weird ideas going on out there. Just weird ideas. Really weird ideas. I'm just saying, folks, there's never been weirder ideas out there. I'm doing my best to avoid them as much as possible. I honestly feel like hardly anything makes sense anymore, except for planting seeds and growing food. I just think the entire job world has lost its mind. Like, what people are doing and what people are consuming is just beyond comprehension. Like, if you were to take any human being from any of the previous centuries of world history and present to them what human beings are doing for work in this modern age, in this part of the world, they would just, like, especially if you took Adam and Eve, way back from, if you took Adam and Eve and you presented them the actual, like, physical appearance of people's bodies and what they are doing for work throughout the day, they would be like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, what are they doing? Like, they're actually doing that? Why are they doing that? Why are they interested in that? Why are they wasting their time in that? Why are their bodies all looking nasty? What are those flat, dead, black panels that they're all sitting in front of, staring at? Why are they all sitting in chairs all day long? Why do they all look nasty in their physical bodies? Why are they obsessed with dead inanimate objects and building dead inanimate towers and all sorts of dead things? They love to just spend their whole day working with dead things. And they seem to have issues, you know, having intimate human relationships, and then, you know, why are they consuming all these like shiny alcoholic beverages? Like, what is that stuff? It's very shiny looking, you know. You just Adam and Eve. I would love to get a video camera and just plop Adam and Eve and tour them through some of the work environments and the jobs that are alive today. They would go nuts. They would lose their mind. They'd be like, "What have you done? Are you people insane?" Seriously, folks, sometimes I just feel like I need a ton of distance from everything that the world is doing and chasing, because I just don't see the point in most of it. I don't see the point in most of it. Unbelievable, unholy addictions, and crazy idolatry and weird pursuits as a result of people not having God inside. Like, the devil can take you in the creepiest, craziest directions your whole life long. Like, you can be one of those like quirky like wood carving artists on a private island that thinks that this is what man was born for, just hacking dead pieces of wood into like various figurines, you know, and selling them. And now, folks, this is kind of heralded as like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so unique. Oh, so artistic. Patting him on the back. Meanwhile, the guy is like totally devoid of love. The guy has no friends. He doesn't know God. He's completely isolated. The people that buy his items are depressed because they're lost. They don't even know what they're looking for. They think that if they just fill their lives with more dead junk, maybe that'll cheer them up. And somehow all this kind of behavior is being patted on the back by everyone, even though it's just completely unsatisfying. Grown men, you know, working for years on dumb projects that, when it's all over, you're just like, that was pretty lame, guys. Like it's actually pretty lame. Like, no one's using it. No one, like, it's, you're just like, okay. I'm not going to lose my mind. Okay, I'm not going to lose my mind. Just, okay.